Today we replaced the front differential bushing on the 2007 H3 Hummer. What we're looking for is underneath the two pan guards, the very same ones we take off when doing the oil change. And there it is in all its glory, the differential bushing on the mounting bracket with the two frame bolts on each side. And all the nuts and bolts on this assembly are 18 millimeters. We end up using two sockets, a ratchet, and also a ratchet wrench will be more convenient, plus an 1/2 inch impact gun if you have one handy. This bushing nut on the differential may spin on you when unscrewing the bolt from the bottom here. So be ready to use the 18 millimeter socket and an 18 millimeter ratchet to hold it down. We'll explain why. Let's go over the bad bushing. When this bushing goes bad, you'll start feeling a knocking or thumping noise. Yeah, you can feel it when shifting the transmission to reverse or drive. And while driving, we felt it mostly when it would downshift. It almost makes you think there's something wrong with your transmission, but it's this bushing bottoming out metal to metal as it moves up and down without the rubber, or worn out rubber we should say. Enough chatting and explaining the symptoms. I'll have all the links and parts and tools we used in the description. Ask in the comments if you have any questions after watching the video. We start by loosening the 18 millimeter nuts and bolts on the mounting bracket. Using the impact socket and a wrench, there's two frame bolts on each side. Then while taking the bushing bolt off, we realize there's a nut spitting on top. Not being able to use an open-end wrench to hold it down, we use another 18 millimeter socket on a ratchet, and it finally worked and it came off. I think there was supposed to be a clip up there holding it from spinning. Don't know why it didn't work, I have no clue. Another note, using the impact tool on the bolt makes the wrench holding the nut vibrate off. So instead, we found it much more effective to use an 18 millimeter socket on top and an 18 millimeter ratchet wrench on the bottom bolt. This ended up being the best way to do it after everything we tried. No power tools, just a good old-fashioned way. Next, using a bottle jack and a block of wood to support the differential before sliding off the last two bolts from the support bar. If necessary, tap the bar to loosen it from the frame. Now that we have it off, before we start pounding what's left of the old bushing, we memorize the direction of the old one. Basically, the small notch faces the passenger side, which is the short side. As mentioned earlier, having no rubber left here is why this was making a knocking noise when shifting the transmission to reverse or drive, and also when downshifting. Moving on to this homemade tool to insert into the new bushing bracket, it came in very handy. It basically allowed us to put the pressure into the top plate of the new bushing without damaging the rubber while inserting it into the support bar later on. But first we needed to get the old one out. We have a few ideas on how to get it out and gathered all the tools we thought of that can make each idea successful. The chisel and hammer helped getting what was left of the rubber out of the way. But for the thin metal shell that's pressed in there, we needed something more persuasive. The chisel considerably saved a lot of time. Because of the shell being so thin, the best type of chisel seemed to be the one shaped like a can opener. It cuts it from the top to the bottom, and then gradually, as we keep chiseling around the top edge, it finally gives and it slides out. It won't look pretty, but it will come out. And just a quick note, if you have a machine shop nearby, you may want to consider bringing it there and do a swap for you. Then before we insert the new bushing, we'll need to clean the opening real well. A small wire brush will take the rust and dirt off, and some sandpaper will take care of these small scratches you may have made with the chisel. Once that's done, we grease around the new bushing shell for a smooth press. We line up so the notches face the same way. Before we tap the bushing assembly to get it started into the support bar, we make sure the tool is inserted. Then, using a bushing driver press set we borrowed, we press it into the support bar. Reinstalling the support bar is pretty much the reverse of when we took it out. At this point, we torque the 18mm differential assembly bolt on the bushing to 74 foot-pounds. Then, using the 18mm socket and wrench, tighten the differential carrier assembly mounting bracket to the frame bolts, and later will be torqued to 114 foot-pounds. This was definitely a successful project. No more knocking when shifting to reverse and drive, and a very smooth downshifting. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you along the way. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. See the description for links of tools and materials used in this video. And you all have a great day.